Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and today we are going to be talking about everything we heard at PulseCon. Well, maybe everything we heard and a lot of things we didn't hear, but we'll get into that later. But first, before we get into PulseCon, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube especially because we have...
Why should I be subscribed, Dakota?
We have partnered with Daryl Young Designs. You may be wondering, that sounds very cool. That's an amazing business card. But what is Daryl Young Designs? The posters behind both Jordan and I are from Daryl Young. He's at some of our local Comic-Cons that we've been to. That's how we met him. Jordan originally got the Cthulhu poster that he's got there behind him. And then he's got, I believe, Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer. And then I originally, when Jordan got those three, I got my Galactus. And then after the hype was building for the HasLab Galactus, I was like, all right, I want some Heralds to go with my Galactus poster. So I got myself a Silver Surfer and a Terrax. He's got a ton of cool ones. Lots of Marvel, lots of DC. There's vertical like we've got. There's some horizontal. He's got some teams. He's got some of his own creations on there. So in the show notes, in the description of the podcast, you can find a link to his Instagram and his Etsy shop, and you can check out those posters. You'll want to check out those posters because once we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to choose one of those subscribers at random, and they'll get to choose one of the posters from Daryl to have shipped out to them. So
you're telling me one of our subscribers will get one of those or many more awesome posters for free?
That is exactly what I am saying. For free, no charge to you. All you have to do is subscribe to the number one Marvel Legends podcast in the world, The Strong Collectors.
And it will be one of those 200. It's not just like if you joined right beyond today. So yes, whenever you're in that pool.
Yep, as soon as we hit 200, so it's not the 200th subscriber, it's a random 200 in that mix. So, yeah, make sure you're checking out those posters. He's got a ton. I mean, I've got 3 on my wall. I can barely fit them in the screen, but I definitely want some more because I really like the style, especially with these cosmic ones that I've got behind me here. I really like the background there, so super cool. Check them out. Now, Jordan, we had PulseCon today, and we've got a lengthy list of reviews or not reviews, but reveals. And right before this happened, we were on the phone talking, and we had given our predictions to ourselves of there's going to be some good stuff, and there's going to be some bad stuff. And I think we were pretty accurate, at least for us. Maybe somebody loved everything that Hasbro put out today, but there was definitely some that luckily we're going to be passing on because I had a ton of pre-orders come in this week. I've got pre-orders from this list. Figura Obscura from Four Horsemen is going up this weekend. So it's going to be a expensive little bit here.
Yeah, it's I mean, they definitely were leaning heavy into the X-Men theme for next year. So anyone who doesn't, I mean, I feel like we're going to get every potentially obscure X-Men character that everyone's been asking. I think they've really heavily implied a Blob too. Did you notice that?
Which
obviously
very true. And that I was going to say, kind of little preview into future episodes. I think our next episode is going to be covering a lot of the leaks that Rectangular put out, because that again was a ginormous list of pretty much what seems like almost everything that's going to be coming out in 2023. So you've got that to look forward to in a future episode. But yeah, so overall it was, I don't know, it started off kind of weird because we got like halfway through their first reveal and then it just like went dead for at least 5 minutes, I think. So that was kind of weird. The chat was definitely, I don't know.
Yeah, everyone was like, I will say that you made a joke that made me laugh about the stream being re-unlocked at 9,000 backers.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good.
A lot of people were making jokes at Hasbro's expense, and I don't know. That was unfortunate because there was a lot of people on there when it was Hasbro's turn. Like there was at least 12,000 people on the live stream, and then it just stopped. And I was like, oh no, my Wi-Fi went out, and I like shut down YouTube and restarted it, and it was still frozen. And then you could just watch the chat scroll through, and they were all not happy about it. But before that, what happened?
Yeah.
Their first reveal, which was leaked earlier in the morning, so it wasn't really super exciting when Hasbro did it. So it wasn't like the biggest like, oh no, the power went out and we can't see what's happening. So this is going to be a PulseCon exclusive, so only on Hasbro, a retro carded Iron Man. It's going to come in a big shipper box, and it's got a photon cannon with it.
Like the shoulder giant.
Right. So this is kind of like that.
Crazy guy.
If you've played Marvel vs. Capcom, kind of like Jordan had talked about, Blackheart being in that game, this is kind of that Iron Man has his big like power move where he pulls out the photon cannon and like blasts the opponent. That's what this comes with. It's the same type of packaging as the retro carded War Machine that is just now starting to ship out, I believe. So, we're getting more on that. And I think people were pretty much expecting this type of Iron Man. I don't know. I know a lot of people wanted this photon cannon, but I don't think they necessarily expected it. But you and I were talking about like how crazy is this price going to be, and I think we might have actually undershot it.
What was it actually?
I'll pull it up here real quick, but I'm pretty sure it was $44.99.
Oh man.
Yeah, $44.99. And I will tell you right now, I don't think it's worth that for sure. Because I think Jordan and I are both happy enough with our modular Iron Man. But yeah, this one, the shipper box, honestly, to me, doesn't even look that cool. Like it's trying to look like a old action figure or something. And maybe it does. Maybe it's pretty accurate to something older, but I don't know. The head sculpt that comes with it is kind of like a longer haired Tony Stark. And
wow, $44.99.
So he's got his fisted hands. He's got kind of like gripping hands for the cannon, and then he's got his repulsor blast hands. And yeah, he does come with like an arc reactor new effect that we haven't had before. So I mean, that's at least good that we're not getting the same exact accessories over and over and over like we have been. So this one you can like put on his chest, you can put on his hand. I'd assume you'd be able to put it on the cannon somehow, maybe. Don't quote me on that one. But I've seen pictures where it's in his hand and on his chest. But you can port on the like normal blast effects that we've been getting. And it kind of seems like on the picture he's got extra ports around it. So maybe you can also port in like several of those, which I hope you can. Because just the one blast effect looks pretty small compared to the cannon.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking it'd have a bigger blast effect with that giant cannon. So
right.
Even if I wanted that for nostalgia's sake, I'd be a little let down.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. But, I mean, it's... I think we both expected it. I think you said maybe on the low side, maybe it'd be like around 35, 37. I think we both kind of expected more 40. 45, man. Come on. But power went out.
It's like a Mythic Legion right there.
Yeah, but not even like a normal Mythic Legion. Like that's like a deluxe. Like you're going to be getting wings and tons of weapons and hands and feet for that. I'd pick the Mythic Legion over that for sure. I mean, yeah. We'll see. So I don't know. That one I think you're going to be able to find on Pulse for a while. So they got.
Yeah, I don't see that being a retro Venom by any means.
No, not at all. Speaking of that, I got the box here beside me. Had to decorate with it since we were talking about PulseCon today. Hey, behind you too. So that they got like, I don't know, not even partway through that reveal. Then the power went out. We'll kind of come back to what happened during the power outage. But next up that we saw, they kind of came back in talking about the HasLab, Engines of Vengeance. They showed Robbie, Reyes, and Mephisto, so they actually had Mephisto in hand. I thought they looked really good. What do you think of the actual figure, Jordan?
Yeah, I think it's nice. I mean, at least they confirm Mephisto has extra hands.
And a head, right?
I guess we didn't see them. Did they say a head? I don't know. I might have missed that part because I kind of jumped in.
Maybe don't quote me, but for sure he's got hands.
Yeah. So that's good to know. And yes, Robbie does look pretty cool, I think, as yes, as a fully realized figure. So, and then the whole notion of the metal chain, I think, looks cool in action. Not enough to make me get it still, but
true.
I don't know. Yeah, I was half. Well, they kind of teased right the next tier. Which, are we going to get into that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Speculatory?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it was kind of like this red-looking gem thing, which it sounded like everyone assumed was Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, which it might be. My brain goes right to the Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan, if I remember right. He has a gem of some kind in the comics, but I could be wrong. So, if there was ever a time they're going to make a toy of the son of Satan, I think it would be in an exclusive HasLab set. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I could see Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen, showing up in an X-Men. Especially she's part of now this crossover with the symbiotes. So, you know, you might see her again there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I imagine that's probably not an outfit they want to put out at retail because she's pretty skimpy outfit, right?
Yes.
So,
quite.
And I know that I've seen in the groups that people have been wanting that figure, but I was really sweating. I thought they were going to start teasing Blackheart, and I just don't want that to happen because I actually want to get a Blackheart figure, and if they announce it, then I'm screwed. So I was happy to have them announce the Goblin Queen because it's not really a figure I would pick up. So announce it all day long, baby. After that, we got into a new figure, and I don't remember how they really teed this up. I think just kind of talking about putting out more villains. And this is the Orb. So if you don't know the Orb, you're probably like most people. This is a dude in an Evel Knievel looking outfit with a giant eyeball for a head. Jordan, you know any backstory on this guy?
Trying to remember. I think at one point in recent comics, somehow he became the owner of the Watcher's eyeball. So, like, he had ultimate power, but it, like, tied into him having an eyeball on his head. Again, that's a kind of classic Dakota story recollection. But
yeah, that's fine.
There is a story like that where something happens, the Watcher's killed and his eyes are stolen, and there's a whole thing. I think maybe before that, he's just kind of a low-level, you know, ridiculous, over-the-top bad guy.
Yeah.
So, because they teased him with that pistol, right?
Right, yeah, I think Dwight.
Ray gun.
Yeah, Dwight had showed off the ray gun previously in one of the other live streams. And, I mean, this figure looks kind of cool. I mean, he's... Like I said, he's got a giant eyeball for a head in like a Evel Knievel jumpsuit, which I think it looks kind of cool. Like it'd be fun if you had another motorcycle, like maybe your Punisher motorcycle would work for him, because it just looks like he should be jumping through a ring of fire with this outfit. So again, not probably one that I'm going to pick up, but it is cool to see a figure this different. Like you definitely don't have one like this on your shelf for sure. So. Kind of cool there.
Yeah.
Next up, they kind of talked about wanting to do some Secret Wars type characters, and sticking with the villains theme, they showed off a Molecule Man. So again, Jordan, I'm going to have you explain this because this is another figure I don't know anything about.
Molecule Man?
Yeah.
If I remember right, he's essentially like all powerful, where if he wanted to, he could like kind of like Dr. Manhattan. He can just manipulate matter into basically whatever he wants. But I think the whole like premise is he's kind of an idiot, so he doesn't really know. Doesn't use his powers to their full potential. So I don't know. This reminds me of an idea someone had on this podcast about some Secret Wars characters coming.
And it sounds like that's happening. I mean, at the end of the stream, they had, I can't remember who it was, but they had like somebody asking questions. And one of those questions was like, oh, we want these like Secret Wars characters. And he said Molecule Man. They were like, oh, there you go. There's your Molecule Man. And we've got more of these Secret Wars style characters coming down the line as well. So maybe they're going to... They didn't show off what they were going to be coming in, if this was part of a wave, if this was an exclusive or something. So maybe this is going to be on the Secret Wars retro card, like Jordan had mentioned.
You never know. Yeah. Could happen.
And he's got it looks like he's got the same kind of effects as like your Pyro or Sunfire, that like kind of flaming fist covering, but it's purple, kind of like the Obsidian Surfer, but like a darker translucent purple. So I guess that's the power effects you're going to get with him. We don't know about extra hands or heads or anything like that, but I don't know. It almost looks like a reuse of the Kang body, I want to say, because he's got the like more lightning bolt straps, so it's probably not exactly the same, but it's
similar look,
right? But yeah, so you got Molecule Man coming down sometime in 2022 or 2023, and then after Molecule Man, we got to see, next up, I think it was a Walgreens exclusive, sticking with the villains there. The much anticipated Danny Moonstone. So, Jordan, you want to tell us about Danny Moonstone? Because it's another, like, I know that she becomes like Captain
I just
Marvel.
remember her from the Thunderbolts comics. Mainly the newer ones, when the Thunderbolts are working for the government, trying to like basically the Suicide Squad, but Thunderbolts.
That like
she was on that team
with Penance and
Penance and Norman Osborn's like the leader, but he's not Green Goblin. But there's like Radioactive Man and Matt Gargan Venom and stuff. Yeah. So she was on that team, and then she joins the Dark Avengers as Miss Marvel, like posing as her with the other characters. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess if people are wanting like their classic Thunderbolts, because you've got like Baron Zemo finally.
True.
And then you could have her.
You've got that Venom. The Matt Gargan Venom.
Which one?
That's like the monster Venom, isn't it? Or was it the...
I don't know.
The build-a-figure?
The one that I remember is...
Because he's like a more shiny purple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, yeah. But I think he has the like bigger... I don't know. Semantics. It might be him. I don't know. But yeah, they definitely could be building towards that at some point. I guess we'd maybe have to see the newer Wrecking Crew or, those, like, other guys that team up with them at different points, like Masters of Evil. Mm-hmm. You could do that, too. But, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think... I thought it was kind of funny that you were saying the newer comics with her, and those comics had to have come out when we were in, like, middle school, no? Like, that had to be... almost prior 2010.
The newer ones in 2007.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I agree. I actually want to go back. Like I'm thinking I want to go back and make.
That was a great series.
Mighty Avengers team and the Dark Avengers. Probably won't make a Thunderbolts team. Although if they make her and then they're going to make a Penance, if you go back and listen to the figures that we want, Penance was very high up on my list. So, she's got the double pinless arms. I was just talking to Jordan about that today, where I just got an Elektra back here behind me, and the old female bodies with the single jointed elbows, it does not work. I don't like it. I don't think I'm gonna buy another single jointed elbow figure. Just because they don't pose that great. Like, you only got so much. I'm glad they've updated it. So yeah, that's gonna be a Walgreens exclusive. Probably not gonna find it on your Walgreens shelves, but it's probably not gonna be too hard to find online. Because the chat did not seem like they were too excited. After Danny Moonstone, though, we went more MCU, and they showed off a Gamora, like a what if Gamora in like the Thanos armor. And then she's got the Thanos like double-sided sword. Not one that I need, but if you really wanted to make a what if shelf,
I don't even remember. Was she even in? Which episode of What If was she? She didn't really make a big impression on me.
Yeah, she looks
version of the character.
Yeah, she looks familiar, but I think the way that they were announcing her, it almost made it seem like she's going to be a bigger deal in season 2.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's like, oh, wait and see, or something.
Which, like, I mean, I guess I'm glad that they're announcing this now, so it means maybe they're a little bit more preemptive about putting figures out when the actual show is out. Because that is always, like, kind of driving me crazy, where it's like, oh, get your She-Hulk figure, or not even but like, we'll go Moon Knight. Get your Moon Knight figure, like, months after the show.
For months, I don't even have it.
Right, exactly. It's like, it seems like we should be a little more on
I
top
would have loved to display that 6 months ago while the show was on.
Yep. So, that, there's your what if Gamora. I mean, she looks kind of cool. I do like the armor. She's very bright green, so it'll pop on your shelf. The sword is a cool, I think that's a cool weapon. I will say the one thing that you can't really tell because I think this is a digital render, but it looks like the lines of her armor are painted on and they didn't sculpt the armor. Again, maybe that's just the digital render. It's not the greatest image, and they didn't do any close-ups. It was just here's one picture of Gamora, and then they moved on. So hopefully the actual figure looks better than this, but it is an animated character. So after that, though, we got into some guest stars. I couldn't tell you their names. Some football player and his kid. But apparently they were big fans of Marvel Legends, which cool. I hope someday I'm famous enough to be able to tell Marvel Legends that, hey, I'm a fan of Marvel Legends too, and I get to do a figure reveal, and they send me early stuff. We'll see. We'll see how big the Strong Collectors podcast blows up. But they sent them your Moon Knight a little bit early, Jordan, and then they got to reveal something that we should have been expecting, another Wolverine.
I was about to say, man, Dakota, I really wish we had another Wolverine.
No, and I bet you really were missing a face that resembled the Ultimate Wolverine, weren't you?
Yes.
Because I really think that his face, I guess looking at it now a little bit more up close, it doesn't look quite as bad as that, but it doesn't look like a good, it looks like they're trying to make him look angry, but not super angry. So he's got gritted teeth, but he's not
he's just like you took his parking spot, maybe.
Right. He's just
he's not gonna kill you, but he's
kind of annoyed with his teeth. He's just
like he burnt his tongue.
Yeah.
Coffee, maybe.
So, and then his neutral head sculpt is also kind of it's a little bit more scowly, which it doesn't look as bad, but it just, I'll tell you what, man, not one I need. But I know I've heard people asking for team suits for the X-Men in this kind of style. I don't know this, I didn't read this storyline, so not nostalgic for me, but nostalgic for other people, I'm sure. You got your red and blue. It's kind of cool, but
more yellow and blue.
Yeah, yellow and blue. Sorry. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of when the X-Men are all in the same costume. I like when there's some difference between each character. I think that's a lot more cool. Even if it's a similar costume, kind of like the all new X-Men where they time travel forward. It's all kind of the same, but Jean is green and Cyclops is blue. And,
yeah. Yeah, the X-Men are more fun, I think, when they have their own Like, because that kind of is the point of the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're a group of individuals, but they come together,
Right.
but they have their own problems and
Mm-hmm.
things going on. So.
Yeah. And I think that's always been like my biggest like letdown with the movies is they always have the same like black leather suit or whatever. And then you get to see like a quick glimpse of like, oh, here's the like animated series costumes at the end of, I think it was it Age of Apocalypse, or maybe it was Dark
Yeah, you
Phoenix.
saw it briefly, and then it was like they never wore them again.
Right. I don't know. That's unfortunate. Hopefully
That's
the
why I'm
MCU does
excited
better.
for the. I think the MCU will give them suits, man.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna let a writer or let a speak, man. Gonna write a letter to Kevin Feige. So
That's right. I love it.
yeah. So we got our Wolverine there, and then next up they showed Longshot, which we've been seeing the last week or so, and then Dan also mentioned on the live stream, or not live stream, he tweeted, because Dan gives us all of our information through Twitter, tweeted about Mojo, the deluxe being, I think he's supposed to be coming out in Target in November, but he's starting to hit shelves early in some places, so he had mentioned that on Twitter, and then now we see that we get Longshot outside of the Mojo World Tour, so I know some people were only wanting Mojo, some people were only wanting Longshot. What's the point of buying a Mojo World Tour?
Oh, the Wolverine.
Oh, yes, we want the Wolverine that makes it a 4-pack. I would just, if you've got that on pre-order right now, cancel it, man. Come on. There's no reason to be paying for a 4-pack when one of those figures is that Wolverine. That is ridiculous. That is definitely where I was like, people, I don't know, there's the groups and the tons of YouTube channels are very negative towards Hasbro, and like I'm not going that far. Like I love Marvel Legends, obviously. I pre-ordered stuff today, but I really was like, ooh, they might be declining if they're going to call this a 4-pack and charge what they're charging, especially now that we see that Mojo is out on shelves for $40. So it's like, all right, he's $40, break down the other 3 characters for, like $25, and that leaves you with Wolverine cost. I think somebody said it was like $30. What? It should not cost anything. But okay, this is going off on a long tangent.
It shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't exist.
It should have died in their brines.
Yeah, that's
Oh boy.
unfortunate that we have that, but it seems like there should be no reason for you to even have to worry about it now, because unless you really want a different Dazzler than the one you already could have for $10 right now that's out, then unless you just really love the box, which I'll give you, the box looks cool.
It's a cool box.
This podcast is not about the Mojo World Series Tour. We're talking about the new retro carded Longshot, which I think looks better than the Longshot that's in that multi-pack. So you get your Longshot. He's got the kind of like the star, I don't know what you would call that. His eye just kind of like lights up.
Twinkle in his eye.
Yeah, he's got like a flash effect going on with his eye. It looks like it's similar. Oh no, it's not. It's a different, because I was thinking it was going to be the same as the X-Man from the Age of Apocalypse, but looks like it's more of just like a painted on effect, which I would prefer. He's got the Crocodile Dundee knife. He's got the hand with the like throwing daggers. They look more like throwing cards, honestly.
Kind of like little blades.
Yeah. And then he's got his 2 extra hands and a little man bag satchel purse thing. So again, I think that looks cool. If you were only getting your Mojo World Tour for Longshot, now you've got another option. I don't need a Longshot. Jordan, what'd you think? Look cool?
Yeah, I had Longshot from Toy Biz as a kid, and always wondered why I had them.
Well, you were close to completing your Mojo.
I don't know why of all the ones I decided to build as Mojo.
But you never even actually completed them until like this year. So
didn't even want them really. But now I kind of wish I had them. Oh, guess what? After now, Sam says she kind of likes the Toy Biz Mojo.
it's not going to be hard to get. I'm sure you can find it for easily $40 right now.
I've seen some for $35.
Snatch them up. And I don't know, maybe having 2 new Mojos are going to, like, does she want the new Mojo too? Or just the old one?
She does not like the new one.
Yeah, if I was going to get a Mojo, I would want the multi-pack Mojo. I don't really like the look of the single release. I'm not going to buy the multi-pack, so unless somebody's selling it in the groups for cheap, I'm going to stick with my Toy Biz Mojo because I like the green. I know it's a little bit smaller, but I really don't think Mojo needs to be too much bigger for me anyway. But, all right, so that's Long Shot. Next up, they announced Multiple Man, which I'm kind of torn on because I don't love this costume for him. This is like the green with the like gold circles and lines and stuff. He's got multiple hands, multiple heads. I definitely prefer the more like 90s look for him when he was in like the X-Force, right? X Factor. Whichever one it is with Havoc and Polaris.
They broke up into a lot of teams.
So I'm happy with my 2 multiple mans that I have, but I know some people don't have a multiple man, and this is a good way to now get him at retail. So, yeah, I'm glad they remade him. Not necessarily interested in this costume, though.
Yeah, even if I wanted the multiple man, I don't know if I'd want that one.
Yeah, it's a very basic, like this is literally just a figure with paint on it. There's not a single like
sculpted detail.
No, nothing. Like the entire costume is just painted. The belt is painted. Interesting. I mean, they definitely had to have saved money with this one, because there you go. You just got a painted figure, which
there you go.
It doesn't look like there's much to him, really. I mean, he's just kind of in that unitard suit. So, you can't be too mad. I mean, maybe if those lines and circle things would have been sculpted, it would be cool, but I don't know. I don't think you can fault him too much for that one. Then we get into the villains.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Villains. These are ones of the purple cards.
Yes.
Right, that they were talking about. I'm trying to remember the very first one. Was it
Phoenix?
Phoenix. First one was Dark Phoenix, which I knew instantly seeing that. I thought it was cool, and I'm like, okay, this is it. Because I think the first few reveals, people were not really feeling it, and it was like you could tell like I love checking the pulse of the room with the
live chat,
pun intended, with the live chat. Because, like, you could tell people were just like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. This is trash.
Like, almost up until this point.
Street. I know. And then they're like, Dark Phoenix. And everyone's like, yes, yeah. Like, finally. Like, thank you, Hasbro. It's like, wait, weren't you guys just... So, that makes me laugh. But, yeah, I think she looks cool. I mean, it's definitely... That is a great one to redo, because the only Dark Phoenix, isn't it? The
Love Triangle?
Is it the 2-pack?
Or no, yeah, I think it is a 2-pack.
The 2-pack with Cyclops. Wasn't it like a Toys R Us exclusive? So,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think this is cool. I think the box looks cool. You got the fire effect.
Updated.
Looked like she didn't have those terrible old elbows.
Yep.
I don't think.
Yeah, she's got like a flamey bird, 2 hands, 1 head sculpt, which I think looks pretty good. It's not like a crazy face that, she could just be standing there, or she could be fighting the X-Men. So I think the colors are super cool. I like that red. New sash.
Yeah.
This one's a good one. This one, if you're listening to this podcast, sorry, you missed it. It's sold out. I couldn't even get it, and I got on there like right after. It sold out in like 3 minutes. So Jordan got his ordered. I missed out, but I think will come back around and maybe get restocked. So maybe I'll get it. I don't know how upset I am that I missed it. It's a good one, but I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one. I know you like it. I know Sam likes it.
Yeah.
I don't know Dark Phoenix too well. I prefer just a regular Jean Grey, but this does look good.
Oh, Phoenix storyline, dude. You have to read that one.
All right, give us the next one, Jordan.
Is Spiral.
Yes.
Correct? Yes. Okay. So Spiral, again, that's another one that people goes pretty high on the aftermarket. Was that another combo pack?
No, she was.
Was she? Oh, she was a single
Yeah,
release.
I believe she
Right?
was in the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
But she had a variant where she had a helmeted head and an unhelmeted head.
Right.
Both go for about $100.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a Spiral, you probably were not going to get one until today. So
That's
I
true.
think I don't know. And it shows that they're aware because they make comments like this one goes crazy on the after. So like the things we say of like, why would they not just re-release it and make money off it? So it's kind of neat to see that they also, I guess, process it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not really a Spiral fan. I'll be honest. I don't know too much about her, and I'm not really going all in on the Mojo World stuff. So.
Did you pre-order one of her?
Yeah. I did get one,
Okay.
just out of instinct.
Yeah. So I ordered one because it'll be good trade bait, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, man, I might want to keep one, so I might need to order it because this chick comes with so many weapons. She's got.
I think she's sold out too, though.
Oh, is she really? Good thing I got mine then. She's got four like ninja-looking swords. She's got one kind of more like medieval-looking sword, and then she's got one of the like little hatchet axe weapons that came with Angela, which isn't as. It's just a solid gold like handle to blade, which I think they could have probably done a better job of painting some of that, like paint some of the strap. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a 6-armed sword wielding
Warrior
Viking looking lady? It looks like she comes with one extra hand. I think it's so her like cyborg arm. Does that? Nope, that's not the arm. I don't know. For some reason, there's like one extra hand packed in here. Oh, and another. She's got one cyborg hand and one normal hand. I don't know why, but that's what you get with her. Tons of weapons, 2 hands. I think this one looks cool.
Yeah.
You want to
Certainly cool.
Give us our last villain from this retro.
Our last one is one that I also have heard people talk about wanting, which is Avalanche, which I don't know. It's another character I don't have a strong connection to. I'm also, I mean, I guess I have Mystique and I'll have Toad. So
You don't have
I
a
don't
pyro?
know.
You got to get yourself a pyro, Jordan.
No, maybe I. Dang it! I was gonna try to steer clear.
Are you? Well, so then I guess are you going to get a blob when blob comes out to keep or no?
I feel like I probably should.
Yeah.
Might be irresponsible not to.
Then if you have a blob, you might as well have an avalanche. I've been pretty excited about Avalanche. I've been hoping he would come out for a while now. I will say he does look pretty plain compared to Spiral. Spiral's got 6 arms, crap load of weapons, extra hands.
Avalanche only has 2 arms.
Avalanche only has 2 arms and he only comes with 2 extra hands, and that's it. So I don't know. It would have been cool to see some like maybe some like sonic blasts, but that's probably too much for Hasbro to do. Probably gonna be better off getting those from like maybe Can of Beams is gonna do something like that. But this is one that I got. I'm pretty happy with it because I really like from the animated series, like the team ups with Pyro and Avalanche. So he was one that I definitely wanted. So yeah, happy about that. Now, if you're saying Jordan Dakota, wow, that was a lot of X-Men, but it's just not enough. Well, don't you worry, because Hasbro also gave us some more. These ones, they didn't really announce much information with. They just kind of showed them, and then we don't know if they're on like the retro card or anything. According to leaks, they're probably going to be part of a 3-pack. You know, don't take our word for it. That's just part of the leaks. But they showed off a Banshee, which this is, again, in that yellow and blue suit. So you're getting that team costume. People have been asking for Banshee for quite a while. I mean, I really don't think that the old Hasbro one is too bad. Like, I think I prefer the wings on that one. I mean, I haven't gotten the new Siren yet, but from the looks of it, I think the wings on the old one look cooler.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And the old one is that classic, like, green costume that most people, I think, are wanting. But I think this head sculpt looks pretty good. It's the screaming head, so people aren't going to be upset about, like, when Siren didn't come with a screaming head. But you're saying, Dakota and Jordan, please tell me there's more X-Men. Hey, there is one more. So we've also got in the blue and yellow suit is a new Storm. And then she comes with her lightning sparkle fingers. And this is more of like a short-haired Storm. She's got her lightning earrings. And yeah, again, we don't know if these are retro cards or 3-pack. I feel like it's kind of odd that they wouldn't have showed off a third if there was going to be a 3-pack. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But those are coming farther on down the line. But yeah, you get lots of X-Men, some team suits, some new villains. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see some of those. And they didn't really say if any of these were Pulse exclusives, did they?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they just announced them.
So yeah, maybe if I can find a Target pre-order, I'll have to jump on that too. Because I usually like to get my Target stuff because, just a little fun tidbit, maybe we'll have to do a podcast on this too, but I had ordered several of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Mans. Amazing figure. Love it. The first one I opened, his knee was like tore off. So like when you went to bend it, it just like there was nothing, like there was no joint there. It was just like hanging on. So pack it up, take it back to Target, super easy, returned, and no issues. So that's why I like to do most of my pre-ordering through Target. I still got a crap load of pre-orders on Pulse, but you know, sometimes you take the risk. All right. That does it for kind of the X-Men team-ish people, but we got another X-Men related villain. Dwight puts on the big giant Strife helmet, which I thought looked really cool. I would be surprised if they make it, just because is there really that many people that want a Strife helmet? But as far as helmets go, by far would be the coolest like cosplay type helmet they've given us compared to like Spider-Man and Black Panther and Mjolnir. Like no, Strife was way cooler. But then they showed off the Strife action figure. Looks, I would say, pretty similar to the original. Neither one of us have had that original Strife from the Toys R Us exclusive, but that's another one that goes crazy on the aftermarket. Like again, another $100 figure. So if you've been wanting that one, it's a great time to get it. I think it's so funny that they still sculpted it in his nipples.
I noticed that.
Because I've seen that on the original, and I'm like, wow, that's a weird detail, but I get this is not a character that I have read a lot of comics about, so maybe in the comics he's just got nipples on every panel, but
it's very important to his character development.
Right. I mean, people make fun of the Batman that has nipples in his costume, and Strife
was very self-conscious for years, Dakota, and now he's finally
it doesn't seem like he catches nearly
himself.
The comments as Batman does, but again, this is a cool figure. Again, it's always just fun listening to, well, I don't know, fun, cringy, listening to Dan and Dwight and Ryan kind of try to give banter about these figures.
Try to hype them up, but
yeah, which it would probably be in a hard time. And I'm like, Jordan, who's Molecule Man? And you're like, here's my understanding. It's like, I try to tell you who the character is. I don't know him that well, but if you tried to get, like, we could make up stories about the orb falling into a vat of
eyeballs,
radioactive eyeballs. But yeah, I don't know. You got a new Strife coming. I think people are going to be excited about that one. I'm sure he's going to go pretty quick once they put him up. So yeah, good figure. I kind of hope he comes with like a sword or something. I don't know if Strife even comes with a sword, but I want my Strife to come with a sword.
I think he has a sword.
That's what I thought. He looks like a samurai. He should have a sword. But don't worry, we're not done with X-Men yet. We've gone through the retro card, we've gone through the mystery packaged ones, and now we have a VHS style Cyclops. I was really banking on this. I really wasn't looking for that Warlock Cyclops, even though that would be the Cyclops that I would want. I'd had that one sealed, but sold it because I have a hard time opening figures when they're worth more, and then I can sell them and buy them loose for less. And anyway, this one, I think the cell shading on it looks fantastic, because it's not super heavy like the...
Yeah, it's not overdone. You
Right.
could have it easily blend in with like your regular
Yeah.
figures, I think.
Right. And it's not nearly as cell shaded as like Mr. Sinister. He comes with extra
And
hands.
on the legs,
The legs.
there's a great detail that Dakota loves. This always bothered me too, is that like his boots, they weren't sculpted on. It was just like a little anklet thing, and it would just fall and dangle around his ankles, which it sounded like they were aware of too, because they even kind of mentioned it in the stream.
Yep.
You know, we're like, well, no more. You know, your straps just coming off. These aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, that's good.
Because all their like thigh straps, even his like the chest harness thing is all keyed on, so now you don't have to worry about like it's flopping around. The like on my Havoc, it always drives me crazy that like his thigh ankle wrap things fall down or up, or it's just not quite in the right place. Really glad that they decided they're going to key this stuff in. And the box looks cool too. Like I've always liked the animated boxes, but I just struggle to spend the money on some of these, like Storm and Jean Grey, when like I didn't think Jean Grey looked that good for the price. Storm looked okay, but the other Storm is cheaper, so not necessarily worth it to me. Cyclops, though, it's pretty pricey on the secondary market. Like you've got one for sale right now, or maybe sold it today. How much did you sell it for?
50.
Yeah. So that's I'm not paying $50 for a Cyclops. I'll pay $25 for a Cyclops, then I get a cool box. So it works out. Not happy that it's 25, or maybe this is almost 30. I can't remember the prices on these retro
They were
boxes.
$27.99.
Let's check it out. But yeah, I think you're right, because it is higher than what I think it should be. Yep, $27.99. Look at you go, Jordan. Yeah, that's a little upsetting, but you know, I'll take it.
It's Cyclops.
It's better than $50.
That's true.
And now if you're saying, Dakota, Jordan, we want more X-Men, you're going to have to wait for another live stream. That was all we got. 10 X-Men is enough. I don't know if it was 10, but it seems like it.
Felt like 10.
And if you're hoping for more retro or not retro, but more VHS style X-Men, you're also out of luck. They're taking a break from that. No more VHS style X-Men coming out in 2023 because they're coming out with the Spider-Man VHS packaging. So they kind of teased a
symbiote Spider-Man with Carnage.
Right.
Which I would love, a symbiote cell-shaded Spider-Man with like the blue.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people customize that, and I think that looks
true.
really cool.
Dang.
So I would like him. I don't know. You can't really cell-shade Carnage because he's already got all the black lines all over him.
I think they'll just make him thicker and more like kind of like goo-ish, and not so like it won't be as like strands of black.
Yeah.
Look a little bit
so
more.
I'd buy that. I'd be excited to get that. I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for the Spidey stuff, Dakota. If it had Spider-Man on it for the most part,
you know, Jordan,
be tempted.
I was planning on passing on both of those. Now that you're talking,
I'm
looking at it, I might need, but I really like my symbiote retro Spider-Man. It's a really good figure. So, but now they've also got the updated bodies for Spider-Man. This Amazing Fantasy is fantastic. So if they do something with the articulation like that, I don't know, man. I've even got a McFarlane head on this Spider-Man. I was set. And then they come in and do this, which I shouldn't be surprised. But also this makes me feel like all the Spider-Mans we've been getting this year, it's just the start, because it's going to be coming in full force with all these VHSs. Which also, like, so this VHS is like, they have the villains facing one way, the heroes facing the other way. They showed off some of the, like, the X-Men ones, but it's like there's, like, 5 or 6 heroes facing like 2
There's
villains.
2 villains. I noticed that too. That's not a fair fight.
That would drive me crazy on my shelf. I'm like, I've got all these guys looking this way and just 2 looking that way.
Or even as a kid, if you're playing with them, they couldn't fight anybody.
Right.
They're just gonna all beat up on Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I was really banking on a new Sabretooth and a new Magneto. Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because now Spider-Man's taking over the VHS, and I can't tell if this is going to be a 2-pack where it just looks like they've got the 2 boxes just together, or if it's going to be.
I think it's a 2-pack.
I
think it's a 2-pack.
That's kind of what it seems like, because Spider-Man and Carnage are on the same cover, so probably going to be a 2-pack. Just looks like 2 VHSs next to each other. I'll probably get it. So that'll probably be another future podcast for all of you folks playing along at home. We're going to be probably speculating on what could we see in that, because that's really going to kind of play a factor into, like, my wall up here is all retro Spider-Mans. Do I want to keep these Spider? Because I've got like Mysterio and Electro that kind of go for like $40-ish. They're probably not going to go up much from that, but we'll speculate on that in another episode. Will the VHS kill the value of retro card, or will the windowed plastic retro card Spider-Mans hold their value as we move into a plastic-free packaging world?
Will VHS kill the retro card? VHS killed the radio.
There you go. A little
Star. We could do I think we need a jingle at some point.
I'm not going to be singing in the jingle.
Well, we could get somebody.
We'll outsource that. If anybody out there's a good singer, you can send in your submission videos to thestrongcollectors@gmail.com.
At least like a Christmas song.
That would be good.
Christmas special. We should do a Christmas special.
I'll be up with that. We could put in the we'll change out the heroic intro and put in the new one. All right, so then that was kind of the end of their reveals. Yeah, and then they talked about the Selfie Series.
Those seem like a disaster.
That was...
Well, first there was the fiasco of they were 60, and then they went to 80.
Yep.
And then people saw them, and the renders don't look good at all.
I can't believe that they put those on the Pulse, like on the live stream. They're like, oh, we all got our figures, like, look at this. Doesn't it look just like me? No. It doesn't look anything like you at all. Not even a little bit. If they would have like put them on the table, like obviously we could pick out Dwight, but like not because it looked like Dwight, because
it was near Dwight.
It wasn't anything like him. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that seems way too gimmicky to me.
For sure.
I definitely won't be doing it.
And I think that's like kind of the point, is it's more for like you're
the novelty.
The person probably buying it for like a kid that's like, oh, here, now you're Spider-Man or Iron Man or whatever you're wanting to be, and it's like that's kind of fun and cool, and like a little kid's not going to be like, wait a minute, these details don't line up, that doesn't look like. They're going to be like, what, this is me, this is so cool, I'm Iron Man. And that's fun. So like for the younger collectors, I think that'll be cool. I think maybe it's kind of a gimmicky thing that like maybe your wife is going to get you as a birthday present, that like, oh, look at your Iron Man, and like they hear this podcast and they're like, oh man, I guess he hates that present now. But man, for $80 just to get a head that doesn't even look like you, pass, man, no way. That's
agreed.
That's rough. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but it's not well received, at least within the collecting community. I think it's going to be more of the younger kids that enjoy that. So yeah, that was the end of the stream.
The small group of children that enjoy toys, because they're mainly for us.
Exactly. All the kids are getting priced out unless they got rich parents or collector parents. And then the collector parents would be like, I'm not going to buy you that. That doesn't even look like you. But anyway, that's the end of the stream. But then we got to back it back up to when we lost power and all the reveals that we didn't actually get to see, that we had to go into the Facebook groups later to find out. Apparently, we're going to be getting a Walmart exclusive Star-Lord, which is kind of you said this was like his classic retro.
It's like the classic like 70s look, where he's kind of more like a space cop looking guy. You know, he's like almost Flash Gordon meets,
Nova Corps.
Yes. He's got a sword.
Oh, I didn't even see the sword.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I see his like blaster that looks kind of like the exact same blaster we got with the Vault Guards, just painted silver, or plastic is silverish gray. So
I don't know. I don't need it,
nope,
but
me neither.
I'm glad for the people out there who want it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look bad. It's just
No.
I don't know.
If I found it for like $10 in a group, I'd maybe be like, oh, cool.
I don't even know if I pick it up for $10.
Put him with Flash Gordon. Well,
That's
you don't
true.
have Flash Gordon.
Yeah. He would fit well on your shelf. That's a good point. Yeah, not one I need, but yeah, I agree. It is cool to get these more retro costumes, and it, like I said, it looks cool. I just don't know it well enough to care about it, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on it. One that I am much more torn on is the Daredevil 3-pack. This comes with a new Daredevil. So this is on, I believe, the new retro Spider-Man body. Or no, it's on the new...
I think it's the Renew Your Vows body.
Yeah, Renew Your Vows body, because it's got toe
She's
articulation.
got a toe hinge.
Yep. And then we've got a white suited Elektra. And then we've got a Bullseye with a blue t-shirt. So,
yeah, I guess that's from like 2017 or so when they revamped. I don't know why it wouldn't just make him look like normal Bullseye.
I agree, but yeah,
I don't mind Elektra in the white suit, but I know you did not love that decision.
I would just rather have a classic red one, but that's why I'm gonna pass on this 3-pack.
They'll probably
because I'm gonna bank on them making these individual figures, and if not, like, I've got a red Elektra behind me now. Like I said, her foot snapped off, unfortunately, but hopefully we get a new Elektra on with updated arms like this one, just repainted red. This Elektra, and you had said you like it, but I think her alternate head with the crazy hair looks ridiculous.
I think it's kind of fun. It's like stylized, like it's like McFarlane style. Frank Miller.
It's like Medusa.
Big flowing. Yeah, it's cool.
It just doesn't make any sense on Elektra to me. Like, it looks...
Well, dude, read a comic book, man.
I guess.
Pick up a book.
Bullseye. He comes with the same, like, throwing dagger hand. He comes with the mask off head, so it's just his, like, screaming bullseye on his head. He comes with 3 extra hands and a knife. So I don't know if you noticed this, Jordan, but it looks like he comes with an empty holster. No pistol for Bullseye. Not sure if that's the case and we just don't see it in the pictures, but it looks like he's just got a holster with nothing in it.
Is Marvel moving away from that kind of thing? Or Hasbro?
I guess maybe if it looks too much like a gut, because like
it's not
that
like
Star-Lord has
like
more like a laser blaster.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how that like went with the cartoons and everything. Like they never, like the cops never had pistols; they had like stun guns, whereas like shooting lasers. Yeah, okay, I guess. Then you got your...
I just mainly want it for the Daredevil myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say Daredevil is gonna come with 2 alternate hands. He's got his 2 batons. And it looks like we're getting the same kind of zigzaggy line effect that comes from his batons, and a new line, a little bit less zigzaggy. I don't know if you can port those together to make just an extra long baton line. But yeah, this Daredevil looks pretty cool. It's just like the classic red, kind of like we got in the, what is that, Hobgoblin wave?
Yes. Yep.
Which is the one I've got behind me. I'm going to stick with that one for now. But I really like the look of this one, and I hope we get another classic like this. I think what I'm almost more betting on is that we get a Daredevil in the VHS Spider-Man, and he's going to be cel-shaded.
That seems likely to me.
So that's more what I'm kind of...
That'd still be cool, though.
Yeah. And, I mean, honestly, I would probably get that, and I would get another Daredevil like this. And maybe somebody in the groups will be selling this Daredevil, too. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But I didn't really want to spend the $75 on one figure that I wanted and 2 figures that probably most people don't want. So it wouldn't be a really easy flip and make my money back.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, I didn't get that one, but I am super pumped about it. And I think that, well, there was also a couple 3 3/4. If any of you out there care about it, there's a Ghost Rider and a Doctor Doom coming, but we don't really jive with the 3 3/4. We go more posable, bigger figures, but
we don't really play with Happy Meal toys.
Right.
Just kidding.
But yeah, I think that was the end of the stream. Like I said, overall, I think it was decent. There was definitely some good stuff.
I'm going to say much better than I was expecting.
Yep.
I didn't really do anything for the HasLab, though.
Nope.
So it kind of makes me think they're just like, if you want it, get it. If not, we're going to make a bunch of money selling X-Men toys. So yeah. We're not too worried.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, I think overall we each pre-ordered a few things. There was a lot of reveals, not a ton up for pre-order. I think the only things up for pre-order, there was Iron Man, the X-Men, like the first X-Men stuff. So Wolverine, Longshot, Multiple Man, Phoenix, and Avalanche and Spiral. The VHS Cyclops, and I think that was it. Yeah, that was all.
And the Daredevil set.
And the Daredevil set, correct, yes. So yeah, if you want those, other than, like we said, Phoenix and Spiral are already sold out. Probably, I mean, you could check other places. I'm sure Big Bad Toy Store still has both of them in stock. Other places like that, Entertainment Earth. Maybe we need to get some sponsors so we can be shouting these people out and making money doing it. But yeah, also remember, make sure you're following us on or subscribed on YouTube, because like I said, we're going to be giving away a poster from Daryl Young. His stuff is in the description again. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. That's at The Strong Collectors. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you're sharing it with your friends, post it in the groups. And until next time, stay strong.